What it is, what it do, what it is, lads and ladettes. I am the HNIC, the head nerd in charge, Dakota Griswold of Gamers, Nerds, and Geeks United. Welcome back to Yesterday Today. This, of course, is the show where I bring you some of the biggest gaming news you may have missed from yesterday, today. And it was a pretty sizable amount of news yesterday, some smaller than others, and one really big chunk that I want to share with y'all. But let's get right into the appetizers. I want to start off with the Epic Game Store, right? So you know they give away free games every month, right? Well, now they have Watch Dogs 2, Football Manager 2020, and Stick It to the Man. Now, if you aren't a PC gamer, even so, make an Epic Store game account. And even if you ever decide to play PC, maybe play on somebody else's PC and put your account on there, well, you're missing out on these free games. Go ahead and make that account and go ahead and redeem these free games. They're yours. Simply put, no membership, no nothing required. Watch Dogs 2 was actually said to be much better than the first one, and a lot of people approved of it, but I guess it just didn't get all of the critical rave that it deserved, simply because everybody was just so scarred from Watch Dogs 1. And then also Football Manager 2020, I'm not familiar with, and neither is Stick It to the Man. But I did hear about Stick It to the Man being one of those good indie games, one of those indie hits. So yeah, I'm not a Football Manager fan at all, but shout out to everybody that definitely wants to get it. If you really want to play these games for free and you have access to a powerful enough PC, why not? I see no L's taken here. Now, let's move on. It appears that the same French retailer that leaked the pre-orders for the PS5, more on that later, they possibly leaked the fact that Bloodborne might actually be getting remastered on the PS5. Now, that's fine, because they do stuff like this. Like when Kings of Amalur became backwards compatible on Xbox, and then just this month, Kings of Amalur Re-Reckoning came out. So this isn't the first time stuff like this has happened, because they let you play backwards compatibility, and they're like, yo, look, you can play that or you can buy this, and it's touched up and it got some new features and stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of scuttlebutt online that a lot of people would love Bloodborne remastered. They want more Bloodborne. So, or maybe even a Bloodborne sequel. So it appears that they've been listening, if this is true. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Now, PS5 pre-orders went up last night, more of them, right? And then they were taken down. I came across it really quickly, so I'm just gonna go ahead and address it here. I don't like the way this was handled by Sony. I was really excited about the PS5, and in fact, I was on Facebook maybe a day before on somebody's page, and it just said, watch the pre-orders be available immediately. The catch was that it was available immediately, but it was not known to everybody. It was leaking everywhere. GameStop let them out, this French retailer let them out, Walmart, everybody was just letting it out, and before people could even flinch. I actually happen to know some people that work at GameStop, that manage at GameStop, and then there was maybe one staff at some of them. We got to get better, okay? Because given the fact that what 2020 is, we have no idea. The fact that people weren't able to pre-order PS5, thankfully, there wasn't any violence or anything like that, but these type of things happen and people are upset. There were riots all throughout 2020. I'm just glad that, us, the nerds, people who love gamers, there is actually some peace to it. Why can't the rest of the world follow us? You understand what I'm saying? Instead, and it's funny because video games is always under attack when the government needs a distraction. But anyway, we couldn't pre-order the PS5 anywhere else. There was some lucky people out there. Congratulations to y'all. And I mean that very loosely, because I'm quite upset about how this happened. I was very ready to get a PS5, and even all my plugs at GameStop, they couldn't even help me. And so that's really beyond their reach. So it's beyond my reach, and it's really upsetting. So, I mean, it's what it is, right? But Sony, they definitely confirmed, like, yo, listen, calm down. There will be more PS5s available at launch. I don't want to be waiting online and scrambling and trying to do everything with people when I really just want to pre-order it, have it guaranteed. I would love to have it shipped at my house, because honestly, I would really rather not have to deal with a bunch of people and dealing with this. Yeah, there's the initial excitement, but I can show my excitement on the channel and on social media. I don't need to be out there in the wild where the pandemic is still going on and people might be wanting to scrape over some of these PS5s. Now, I'm excited about the PS5, but I'm just really upset at how this was handled. But so Sony confirms that there is no backwards compatibility for PS1 through 3, but 99% of the games on the PS4 will be backwards compatible on the PS5. And I'm okay with this simply because it's just, I wasn't a hugest fan of the PS3, great library, but I wasn't a fan of the PS3. The PS2, however, a golden era, but I have a PS2 here. The PS1 era really would lay the groundwork. I have a PS1. If I want to play anything on my PS1, I can still play it on my PS1 or play it on my PS2. Okay? I don't have a PS3, shamefully. I would love to have that for my collection, but it's all good. But the PS2 library is really what separated the men from the boys. Everybody was on PS2. The rise of the heavy rise of JRPGs, everybody was really all upon it, and that's fine. 99% of the games on the PS4, on PS5, I am definitely okay with that. I don't really think that should be such a big issue. Everybody's like, oh, what if I want to play my old games? You always say that, and then we get into these new games, and it's just like, all right. All right, lads and ladders, let's get into the real meat and potatoes here. We got not one, but two Nintendo Directs. One was a Nintendo Direct, the other one was a Monster Hunter Direct. And well, it was a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, but it actually wasn't bad. So I'm going to give you some of the things that was revealed in no specific order. And well, of course, we definitely got a chance to see Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories. Now, I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter guy, by far, right? I've always been fascinated with the world, with the creatures, but the gameplay, it's pretty grindy, and some of the battles with these monsters are really long. I even played the demo, thought it was pretty good, but I'm sure in the long run, I'll be like, all right, I had enough. But it's really good games. But, however, Monster Hunter Rise, releasing March 26th of next year, looks very good. They introduced a couple new mechanics, right? They introduced a new dog companion called the Palamute, and you get to jump on that dog's back and run around and climb everything. And then it also doesn't drain your stamina when you're running around, so you can run as freely as you want. This dog also helps you in combat, but then you also have the palicos, the cat-like creatures. Now you can have up to 2 of these creatures with you. You can have 2 palicos or 2 palamutes, which actually definitely interests me. Now, could you just imagine this, right? Now, I'm not a Monster Hunter guy, but it seems like I'm a little bit more excited than I would be. And granted, the game actually looks awesome. You can also implement these new wire bugs that you kind of have in your pouch, and it looks like it's a grappling hook, but you can use it to climb and stuff like that. But you can also implement it in combat. Now, just imagine you using that while you're on one of the Palamute's backs while the other one is fighting. I like this kind of chaos. I like this kind of world. And honestly, it looks phenomenal on the Nintendo Switch. Now, we don't know if it's exclusive to the Nintendo Switch yet, but I'm going to go ahead and assume so because I haven't really seen it anywhere else. And if it is, I will definitely be covering it. But Monster Hunter Rise absolutely looks awesome. Honestly, I can't really front. Maybe I'd give it a chance because it looks fun, and maybe I'll play with some people. I probably have a few people. Maybe I'll actually jump into Monster Hunter Worlds just to get a little preview. It's still available on Game Pass. And honestly, this comes out March 26th next year, and the PS5 comes out on November 12th. Now, if I don't buy any games, but I still have PlayStation Plus, Monster Hunter World is right there on the PS5 right away. So I'll definitely have many options and ways to play it before this game comes out. I will go on record and say this game does look good. 2 versions with pre-order bonuses and stuff like that. It's all good. But then we got Monster Hunter Stories. Now, I'm a sucker for the JRPGs that are pretty looking, right? I'm not a fan for the, what am I trying to say here? For the turn-based games, and RPGs usually are really exhausting to me. All of the heavy menu options and stuff like that. So I tend to stay away from them, but I watch them from afar and I am fascinated. So Monster Hunter Stories, the first one, came out on the 3DS after I moved away from the 3DS. And it looks very interesting. Turn-based combat, but it still looks very good. And this is really story-driven. They said they're working on a campaign, a heartfelt story. And the animation looks absolutely amazing. And in a trailer, it appears for somebody to be a young woman who happens to be close to Rathalos, one of the big bads in the Monster Hunter universe. And I love how I'm pronouncing everything, and it seems like I'm somewhat of a fan, but I really am not into Monster Hunter, but I'm fascinated. I also I'm not, being a person who's not really a fan, but a fan of these games and universes, I really don't think this movie should come out. No, let's move on here. Well, those games also, they definitely coincide with one another. One comes out in March, the other one comes out in summer. That's pretty close. Even though they're drastically different games, but they're in the same universe. So basically these games will communicate together, and they'll give more of that at the Tokyo Game Show and further on down the line. Now, I definitely don't want to reveal this one yet. You know what? I will, right? So last year we got Ori and the Blind Forest last year on the Nintendo Switch. And then we got Will of the Wisp on the Xbox. A dummy like me who loves collecting and hasn't even opened it bought the physical edition of Will of the Wisps on the Xbox, still case and everything. I'm eventually going to play it. Didn't even have to buy it because I have Game Pass. But that's how serious I am about certain games. That's how serious I am about steel cases. The first Ori game, Ori and the Blind Forest, was an amazing game. Ori and the Will of the Wisp was said to be no slouch. It was just as great. So why not buy it? But it also released just yesterday on the Nintendo Switch. And then you go to IM 8-Bit, they released a physical edition with both games and collector's cards and everything like that. And guess what? I missed it. No steel case, but it's in this sleeve. It is like it kind of covers it. It's amazing. I can't really explain it. It looked like an amazing, and you already know that scalpers, they're going to do their thing. They're going to get this and they're going to re-release it right there on eBay. And it's a shame because this is an amazing game. I don't want to have to play this digitally. I would love to play it physically. I purposely have not bought the first one on the Nintendo Switch. If you know me, you know I don't mind double dipping. This is an amazing game, and I would love to get steel cases for both of them. And it bundles both of them inside it for about $150, but unfortunately, they're all gone. Now, they also said Fitness Boxing 2 will be coming out this December. Well, maybe I'll get into it, just fitness boxing. So you can, and it's basically boxing meets Just Dance. And hey, who knows? Maybe this will keep you in pretty good shape, and maybe it'll get you good, making on that jab straight. You understand what I'm saying? So you'll be able to work on that. And then we got Disgaea 6. Disgaea 6 will be coming out next year. Not a fan of Disgaea, but I've always been appreciation of an art. You're playing as a new demon character. The more he dies, the stronger he gets. This is pretty cool. But then, of course, they're giving you a free week of Disgaea 5 complete from September 23rd to September 29th. We got a chance to see it Balan World from the makers of the Knights games. This game is a 3D platformer with different outfits for depending on the areas that you go to. Looks pretty good. Hopefully it's a physical edition, so I can definitely get that. Yeah, I guess similar to a Hat in Time. And then we got Rune Factory 5 that will be releasing also next year. It looks pretty good. Another JRPG, but also farming. And then we got one of those hit indie games that was on early access for Xbox, and I do believe it's on the PS4 as well. The Long Dark, where it's basically something traumatic happened and you're in the winter and you're just trying to survive. Pretty solid game. Then Hades, released immediately by the same people that made Bastion and Transistor. I know myself, I know them. I'm going to wait for a physical edition from Limited Run, IM 8-Bit, whoever. Y'all not going to catch me. I'm not buying this game twice. I want to buy it once and then open it. The game looks phenomenal. It's a roguelike game, and where you basically play as Hades' son and you're trying to escape hell, and then you get a bunch of help from the gods every time you die. So it's really, really good. And those, if you played it, let me know down in the comments below what you think about it. And then we got Empire of Sin. It's basically where you play, it's a mafia game, but it's an RTS. Seems pretty interesting. And then we got Sniper Elite 4 officially coming to the Nintendo Switch holiday of this year. So it was really, really good. It was a pretty solid direct. These are no slouch of games. Some of these are smaller games, but honestly, it was almost up there with a regular direct. And it was really, really interesting. And Sniper Elite 4, those games are really, really good. And honestly, I can't wait to play Hades, but please just give me a physical edition. And Monster Hunter Rise, I'll keep a close eye on that. I'll be honest. And that might be the Monster Hunter game that actually breaks the straw that breaks the camel's back for me. I'm really, really interested. But lads and ladders, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already. If not, hit the dislike. It's all good. And if you're new here, subscribe and scroll all the way up to all so when you know when your boy is posted. And thank you so much for watching once again. And this video is finito. Enjoy your weekend.